there's a guy that is playing MLB baseball that knows your name. And
Absolutely.
it's not doesn't know your name because you decide to go streaking down left field.
He gets one high in the air. Left field. This one's got a chance. And let's go on a cowhide. Joyride. Sound the horn. The RailCats clear the yard.
And welcome back to 219 Cats, sponsored by OnDeck Tees. Support the player, wear the gear. He's Chuck Plerick. I'm Kyle Savetich, and today we have quite a bit to discuss. We got two new players signing, a player transfer contract, the official coaching roster. We may see ourselves on a new scoreboard, Jumbotron. And then if we have time, we're gonna look at the East Side promotions because we're hoping to do that. But Chuck, or I should say Champ, how was the first week without bowling?
You know what? It's been rough because it's you go through and all of a sudden everybody's calling you champ, and
No one's
all
calling you
the
Champ.
people you just did. You just did. Uh it's been fun. It's been great. I send messages to my dad and I tell him and his wife, "Hey champs, what are you guys doing?" So that's what we do now.
So when are we gonna get the limited edition OnDeck Tees Just Chuck Champion shirt?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
And it's just gonna be one of one. It's just gonna be you, and you can just wear it around the
I
entire.
think I will. I think that I'm actually gonna, because I produced one for Megan, my dad's wife,
Mhm.
to wear to bowling.
Mm.
It just had our faces on bowling pins and it said Alley Cats on it. So I think I might use kind of that image and then put champs across it with the year.
I see.
I think I might do something like that. And then the four of us will have those shirts because we're the champs.
Yeah, so you get to wear it around, all year long, and then
Yeah. Yeah. And
you.
they'll have the, so we'll always be the champs of 2026.
Yeah, but you got to stop wearing it once 2026 is over with. So
I don't know.
it's
Maybe.
it's good for 1 year. That's about it.
Anyways, it's, you know what? Right now, so I've transitioned from um, bowling to now the focus is baseball. I ended up finding myself paying for the stupid show or whatever it is for the Atlantic League to be able to watch this month's worth of baseball.
Why?
Um, just so that because the Atlantic League did not have a way for you to view the rosters of the players, the
Yeah.
box scores,
So
or the scores of the
so
game.
so why would you feed money into a
I
failing? That's just no. Like
I know,
no,
I
no.
know, and I
Come
felt
on.
awful about it, but they've moved to iScore, I guess, which sounds like iSore, which is pretty funny. And now they have the box scores and everything. So they took my $20 or $18. But there have been some games that I've really enjoyed watching, just getting prepared for American Association.
Yeah, Chuck, I'll have to sadly admit that the bags underneath my eyes are not because I'm watching baseball. It's because it's playoff hockey time, and it's been some good hockey, and it's been a struggle throughout the days, but nonetheless. So,
Hey, you pull through, champ. I mean,
I,
I can't. You pull through,
I
non champ.
well, it's one of those that it's like it's still April, so like I'm not like I don't get too crazy for it, and then it's gonna hit May 1st. I'm gonna be like, all right, is it warm outside? Yes. Am I going to the baseball field? No. What am I gonna do for the next 2 weeks?
Yep,
So
yep.
it's getting there. With that being said, we do have movement with the rosters.
Well, let's first talk about the elephant in the room. As you can see, I'm
Oh
wearing my
yeah, I
Chicago
forgot
Dog
that.
shirt. I've got an empty hat on, and the question is why, Chuck? Why? Well, because I am protesting. This is my protest of the Gary South Shore Railcats. I am protesting because they released their coaches uh list, roster, whatever you want to call it, and my guy Jason is not on there. And we knew that he wasn't going to be on there, but them releasing it like, woohoo, look at what we got. It just, I'm protesting.
All right, so we're since you want to go that way,
Yep.
we'll go that way. So Jeff Isom, obviously the manager. I didn't have time since they just released it today, which is Wednesday. By the time this comes out, it's gonna be Thursday, so I didn't have time to really do the research. on everything. But Isom comes from basically Chicago, and then comes over this way.
Lives in West Lafayette, I believe.
Yes, native of Lafayette, Indiana, pitched at Purdue University. He was drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1993. He pitched 7 seasons, and then his first managing job was in Canton, was with the Canton uh, Crocodiles. There we go. I was having a hard time pronouncing that for some odd reason. In the Frontier League in 2020 or in 2000, he would manage the Milwaukee Brewers system for 6 seasons to Partner League in 2023 or 2013 with Lake Erie. Chuck, this is 2 weeks in a row that I'm struggling to speak right now.
Yeah.
This is 2 weeks in a row, and I went back last week and was doing a lot of editing. It didn't sound terrible, but like I still felt like I was an idiot, and I still am. But anyways, he won
might be having
in
a stroke.
2018 with the Joliet Slammers in the Frontier League for their championship. So yeah, in 2024 he became the second manager in Chicago Dogs history in his only season with the team to reach the East Division championship. Last season with the RailCats, he went the RailCats were 19-43 when they announced him taking over. The Cats would go would win 19 of 37 games with his managerial. He has over 1,080 wins, 9 playoff appearances, and 3 trips to championship series. Then we have the batting coach returning, Chris Jacobs, 37 years old, from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. He was drafted to the Los Angeles Dodgers. He would go on to play in Chicago White Sox and St. Louis organizations. He spent 3 years in the American Association with Sioux Falls and Fargo Moorhead Redhawks. Jacobs was hired to the New York Mets as a player development coach for the Mets AAA affiliate. He had become a bench coach for the Florida Complex League Mets in 2023 as the outfield coordinator in 2024. Last year, Jacobs was hired as the hitting coach for the RailCats and saw improvement on the on-base percentage and walks compared to the season prior. And then, K-Dub, Kent Willis has been, with the team for what?
4 years, I think.
4 years. So, well, 3, yeah, because this will be the 5th season I'm doing this. So yeah, 4 years with him. He has been in professional baseball for a while. After some great seasons at the University of Southern Mississippi, he was selected in the 1986 draft by the Cincinnati Reds and spent 1 season with the Montreal Expos farm system. 8 years after his professional career had ended, he got back into professional baseball with a team in 1990s, the Atlanta Braves. The veteran served as the pitching coach in rookie ball up to Double-A in 2007. The Braves made him the minor league pitching coordinator. Willis enters his 4 seasons with the RailCats. His staff last year finished with the best team ERA in the month of July with a 3.07. The RailCats staff penciled a 4.48 ERA, which was the lowest team ERA since 2019. Had 5 complete game shutouts, which marks the teams that have not done that since 2018, and a WHIP of 1.485, best since 2019 as well. So Jason's out, unfortunately. Owen Reith is in. But when you look at his background and what he's been able to do, I can understand the moves. You can protest all you want. Owen is the newest coach to the RailCats after a couple seasons with the Dogs. That's Chicago Dogs. He's a native of Tower Lakes, Illinois, and graduated from Carthage College, where he pitched for the Firebirds. He pitched professionally for the New Jersey Jackals and the Charleston Dirty Birds. Reith works closely with the Black Sox club. In his time was the club he had over 500 players signed to professional contracts. In 2023, the Dogs hired Reith to be their bench coach and head of player procurement. In 3 years with the Dogs, The club made the Miles Wolf Cup final and advanced to East Division Championships in 2024 and 2025. So there's your coaching staff for the season. Um, we know what Jason brought to the table. There's a couple questions that me and you will probably discuss off air. That's stuff that we don't necessarily need to talk about here on the podcast because that's not what we're here to do. Um, but I think having someone that is going to be actively looking for players during the season
Yeah, I
might
think that
be a more beneficial.
yeah, I think that's the big key, and we've been railing on this for a couple of years now.
Yeah,
That you had Lamar who wouldn't let or wouldn't get somebody to find players for him. He did it himself, and he focused on his contacts and building up that Rolodex, and getting to know the scouts and stuff like that, in order to get players. And I think that you only have so much time, and I think that it takes away from your in-game performance.
yeah,
And I think that that's what was going on with Lamar. And so you get Jeff in here where the first thing he does is brings in somebody to find him talent so that he can focus more on what's going on the field instead of people. And I think that's the way to do it. That's the way some of the other teams do it. The successful teams, I think that's the way that they do it. So, hey, I can't complain about that. But I will say this, that, you bring in an Owen, and that I don't know that, oh, yes, Owen has his pluses,
hmm
but I don't think that it necessarily needs to well, Owen brings this to the table, and this is more of what we need. You lose out without having Jason there. So, you talk about all these big sponsors that they've been getting and all of this stuff. I think that money well spent would be bringing Jason back to the team, and having the best of both worlds. And sometimes you got to do that when you're looking to win. So that's my complaint isn't necessarily the Owen. My complaint is you have the money. Um, you're talking about these great sponsorships that you're getting this year. You have the money. Let's use it wisely and make sure that we've got the coaching staff covered.
yeah. As far as bringing in Owen, I think it's the right step. It's the correct step in the right direction.
Yeah.
I just think that looking at the last regime, it was, and we talked about it numerous of times. You see players being turned over left and right in other teams, and they go on to win the Miles Wolf Cup, or they're in the playoffs consecutively. Like,
Yep.
they're turning players over, and we were like, why are we holding on this guy? Why are we holding on this guy? Why are we holding on this guy? And it's just like nothing ever comes to fruition for said guy, and we ride out the rest of the season with someone, and it's like
Right.
there's nothing that we can do. So I mean, Chuck, 2019 was the last time they made the playoffs. I They have yet to make the playoffs in the new format, which two teams out of six teams, two of them don't make the playoffs.
Right.
So I'm just saying that we'll obviously get into the storyline before the season starts, but like,
We've been in the bottom two every year, and that's you kind of got. I mean, it's understandable. And yet last year we were, I believe, and you saw the difference when you had Jeff in charge, right? I believe that we were just one managerial step away from having a team that was in first place
yeah,
versus a team that was in last place. Because, like you said, leads the league in ERA for a month.
yeah,
Overall, best ERA we've had in 6 years, 7 years. The team, if you look, I think it was like 17 or 18 games that we lost by one run. Just insane numbers with how close we were or how competitive we were. And it was just not getting it done. And when you see a bunch of games like that, 17 16, 17, 18 games lost by 1 run.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that is managerial related decisions made within the game that can cost you that 1 run or get you that 1 run. And so you saw a difference when Jeff got there that he started making these little managerial changes that I believe uh, gave him the benefit of those 1 run games.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but
No,
you
it was more of you went from a scripted feel to a I'm going to put you in this position because I trust you
right.
and show me why I put you in these positions. It's not like, hey, yeah, you're doing good right now, but my script says this, so you got to go out. So like I think that's just the difference. You give the players the more confidence.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
All right, so
All right.
getting on to the movement. We lose right-handed Jackson Dennelley to the Washington Nationals in a contract transfer, which I don't think the RailCats take anything from that except that the contract got transferred. If he gets released, he would come back to the RailCats in that perspective. So we're down a right-handed pitcher out of the plethora supply that you can
I was
pull
gonna
out
say
of
it,
that.
it really puts us behind the 8 ball on right-handed pitchers, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. It's like the I don't know if you ever watched Futurama.
No.
Anyway, so it's like a futuristic show, or the case may be, and basically an iPhone, but it goes in your eye, and like they go to the store, and he's like, I need one, and the cashier's like, I don't know if we got one, and he like goes behind the scenes, and it just machine just keeps on like throwing out these the phone. So like, you just got plethora of them. Like, we don't know if we can eat enough, but just keep them coming.
Yeah, just keep.
Um, but so on that was on August 21st. On August 23rd, the Railcat signed catcher Justin O'Connor, who is 34. He's from Indianapolis, was drafted at 31st overall. He was drafted 31st overall, so he's a first round draft pick, but 31st overall. Tampa Bay Rays in 2010. He bats and throws right. He's 6 foot, 201 pounds. He played 9 seasons in the minors, reached AAA in 2017. In 2018 he played for the St. Paul Saints when they were still part of the American Association. In 19 he spent time with the Chicago White Sox system. In 2022 and 2023 he played in the Atlantic League. In 2024 he split time between Mexico and Kansas City Monarchs. Last season he played for Long Island of the Atlantic League. So this is just roughly what he did in the minors. He slashed a 232, 283, 389, and OPS is 672. He had 295 RBIs and 63 home runs. So far with indie ball, he's played 310 games. He has 1,065 at bats, 147 runs, 280 hits, 61 doubles, one triple, 42 home runs, 166 RBIs. He stole 9 bases. He walked 82, struck out 324 times. His batting average was 264, on base was 323, slugging 440, OPS of 764. Last season with the Long Island, he played 65 games, 215 at bats, scored 30 runs, 53 hits, 14 doubles, one triple, four home runs, 35 RBIs, two stolen bases, 22 walks, 69 strikeouts. He slashed a 247, 321, 377, and OPS of 698. So this is what Jeff had to say about Justin. You don't come across a catcher like Justin O'Connor often. Justin has the ability to hit for power, and he can control the run game from behind the plate. I see this as a huge add for our club, unquote. In 2024, Justin threw 49% of the runners out in Mexico and 43% of the runners out in Kansas City. Last season, he threw 21% of the runners out for Long Island, which was 14% above the Atlantic League average. Um, this is the kind of catcher that I've been talking about for years.
This is the kind of catcher we've both been talking about for years.
Um, I like that he's a little bit older.
Yes.
I think he would be able to help coach. Um, I know Cooper. I'm sorry. I have the other catcher is lost my.
That's okay.
But you have someone that's able to throw who's being able to control behind the plate and can hit.
Yeah.
That's something that you need. And you're going to need someone. He's 34. I'm not saying that he can't play 100 games, but you're going to need someone to fill that role because he's not going to play every game if he
Yeah.
makes the team. I mean, obviously, we're overloading here, so it's just depending on who's making the team at this point.
Right. Right.
Your
It'll
thoughts?
it'll be interesting. Obviously, anytime I see a catcher pop up, the first thing I think of is, I really love watching Coop behind the plate and the effort that he puts in. And I know that he doesn't necessarily have the accolades that some of these other guys do, but I'll tell you what, he has a heart that's matched, if not bigger than theirs. So first thing I always think of is where's this leave Coop? But yeah, maybe this is one of those type of guys that can really help the younger talent, both pitching and catching. Help them with their jump ups, help them shave that millisecond off of their throws. Um, you know, Help them call a better game. All of those different parts of the game that you don't necessarily see. Uh, Hopefully he's the kind of player that can do those things.
Yeah, and the other two, Drew Stengren and Pedro Revilla, are the two other catchers. Revilla I think is more of an outfielder, but he's less as a catcher, so I just kind of threw him in there
Yeah.
as well. So I don't want to, I know what I'm doing to a certain extent. But speaking of catcher, let's just go ahead and throw another one in there. If we don't, why don't we? In a Colin Summerhill, he's a catcher, first baseman, and outfielder. He throws and bats right. He's 6'2", 205 pounds. He's 24. Colin is from Chicago, Illinois. He went to Northern Illinois University, Triton College, and Troy University. He was signed to the LA Angels after a college workout last year. He split time between high A and single A. This year he played 2 games in high A. His college stats: he played 128 games, 461 at bats, 84 runs, 131 hits, 24 doubles, 5 triples, 32 home runs, 124 RBIs, 14 stolen bases, got caught 7 times, walked 60, struck out 82. He slashed a 284, 375, a 566, and an OPS of 941. His 2 seasons in the minors, for some reason, I forgot about how many games he played. But anyways, he had 374 at bats, 47 runs, 81 hits, 25 doubles, 6 home runs, 40 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, got caught twice. He walked 56 times. He struck out 108 times. He slashed a 217, a 322, slugged a 332, and an OPS of 653. So he only played 2 games this season, so he did play in 2026. He had 5 at bats. He only got 1 hit. He struck out 3 times. He slashed a 200 all the way across the board, an OPS of 400. This is what Jeff had to say. Colin is a young kid that can slug. Not only can he be he can be very good offensively, but he's athletic enough to play numerous positions between catcher, first base, and corner outfield. Unquote. In 2024, he tied Northern Illinois University's single season home run record at 19. This is one of those, I could see it being almost a DH sort of situation. I kind of wish that he swung from the left side of the plate with the amount of power that he seems to have. Um, you know, I'm not saying that Northern Illinois or Troy are super high um, baseball schools, but to
Right.
be able to do what he did and get picked up off a college workout, um,
It sounds like he has some talent.
yeah.
Sounds like he has some power. What do you do with that? That'll be what it comes down to. We've seen guys come in with power, come in with talent, and get beat by the Steelyard.
Hmm.
So, let's see what I think this is one of those see what he can do type of things. especially if you're hitting from the right side of the plate. Steel yard is not your friend.
Yeah.
In some stadiums, it might be. So you're 50 games away. Maybe he's one of those guys that produces while he's away and not so much when he's at home. We'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see.
I mean, I think me and you, well, I guess me and you probably both concerned is one, the lack of left-handed at bats,
Yes.
and the lack of pitching in general.
Yeah, I know that from what I've been told, we're going to get another one of our big names back. But pitching wise, there's a lot of question marks. We do have some good ones, back on the staff, but um, a lot of question marks out there. And I think that that's typically the way it is within the American Association. I don't think that you can necessarily count on having your five starters back, no matter
No.
how successful they were. And do you necessarily get three of your starters back? Not necessarily, right? So we'll see, but there's a lot of unknowns, but that's what spring training's for, and that's what your scouting's for, right? Hopefully, Owen is earning his paycheck.
Yeah, I guess it's more of a less of like there's no
No left-handers. Well, one.
one. You got Denson Hall.
Right?
He's your only
Yeah,
left-hander that you have. Um, I mean, really, you only have three starting. I mean, well, really just two at this point that we know of. I mean, Yohan Valdez could be a starting pitcher, but he was more used as a bullpen day
right.
guy. So like,
He tried to start, and it didn't work out too well.
yeah,
So
it's just one of those like that. I'm just unsure. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those that we're just unsure of the situation. There's no one that like really sucks you and you're like, oh, I could really see this. So I mean, it's just that's just one of those situations where it's just kind of like it's hard to even looking at stats. Like yes, the other week I was kind of fiddling around with like the lineup and the starting pitching and the rotation and stuff like that, and I just looking at other players that there's not a lot of people that have starting pitching experience in general in minor or affiliate ball or in independent baseball. So it's like how do you construct that together?
right.
So
That's the other thing is that I believe that it is a lot easier for you to go from a starting pitcher into uh, a relief role than it is for you to go from a relief role to a starting pitcher. Because I believe the mentality is totally different, and you're looking for 5 innings versus 3 outs.
yeah.
And that's uh, a lot more work on an arm and a lot of different work on an arm than I would say the relief pitchers are used to. So I mean, we've seen relief pitchers go out there and they're expected to go 2 innings and they're struggling at the end of the second inning. You
And
know,
I I mean, so I can't think of the pitcher's name, but the White Sox did something different this year with one of their young pitchers was he would start the game, but he wasn't technically the starter. He would pitch 1 or 2 innings and then they would bring the actual starter in. So I don't know if we're going to see a different kind of format with Jeff this year as far as um maybe you're going to load it up with a bunch of relief pitchers that can give you 2 or 3 innings and then until you can figure out,
yeah,
you got
I hate the thought of that. I hate the thought of that.
I know, but again, how many it, this is one of those you're comparing it to MLB, right? MLB has a full month of live games before they
Yeah,
get into the regular season, and some pitchers aren't even ready by then. Now, I'm not saying that some of these pitchers aren't pitching; they're not but it takes a while to build that arm up, and by the time you build that up, you're already halfway through the season, and it's so it's just like what kind of what kind of management is Jeff going to do here? Is he going to allow like a Peyton Long to go the 7 innings right off the bat, or is he going to limit him to 4 or 5 innings? Or I just
yeah. A guy like it's really not necessarily a Jeff thing. It's a K Dub thing. I would say for the most part, and K Dub's very predictable in that.
mhm.
He's a 4 innings off the bat kind of guy. Work your way up to 5, work your way up to 6. Don't expect too much on those starters. But here's where I think that the theory of, hey, let's throw out there a couple of guys for 2 innings apiece. These guys aren't MLB cream of the crop guys, right?
Mhm.
Where a reliever, when a reliever goes out there, 85% of the time he's going to be lights out.
Yeah.
In the MLB. Here, that might be 40%, right? Maybe I I'll give you 50%, right? 50 chance that reliever that comes out is going to be lights out. The other 50% chance is he's going to go out there and might not have his stuff and he's going to get rocked, right?
Mhm.
And so do those odds over the course of 4 pitchers, and you're giving up 8, 9 runs.
Yeah.
Versus giving me a solid pitcher that goes out there and gives you 5, 6 innings, and then you've got 2 guys that close, and you've got 2 other guys sitting there so that if something were to go wrong, you've got a guy waiting. Whereas if you're pitching 4 pitchers, you don't necessarily have a guy waiting,
Yeah.
right? You already know, okay, he's the next one up, but now you're screwed because your bullpen's out. And we saw that, actually saw that on a game in the Atlantic League where they ran out of pitchers,
Mhm.
had to throw somebody else out there. We don't want to be one of those guys. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'll tell you this. Jeff, I believe it was in a game in Kane County last year, uh, came up with an idea that just surprised the heck out of me, where he knew there was going to be a rain delay
Mhm. Yeah. Yes.
towards the beginning of the game, and put in a relief
Yep.
pitcher to start. And then once it was delayed and the delay was over, brought out his starting pitcher,
Mhm.
had him go out there and run it. And I was like, man, that right there is a genius move. So you know, I'll leave my hat off to him, and let's see,
And I mean,
let's
I
see what he
again,
does.
I, we knew with the old regime kind of what we were gonna get, right?
Yeah.
There was this high expectation of these players to do great things, and it never came to fruition.
Well, there was a lot of let's bring in injured guys to see if they're healed yet,
Well,
and put all the weight on their shoulders.
but I'm just saying that's you're bringing in a lot of people that you have high expectations with, that had, you can call it baggage,
Right.
and we just didn't know if the bags were gonna stay together or if they were gonna crumble and fall apart and have your clothes
fly,
everywhere.
fly off the top of the car and
Yeah,
shatter on the highway. Yep, I know.
with what we were able to see, what Jeff was doing with someone else's roster. Now, I granted that's a very small portion of the season,
Yes.
but for him to have the accolades he has in independent baseball, I guess it's trusting him to put a roster together and put it on the field to have winning baseball. And
Well,
that's something that we've been necessarily neglected in because we had trust in someone else to do that and it just didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those
I I
that
I don't want to say trust in. I want to say let's have patience and
I,
let's
and
right.
that's gonna be that's
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave that for the storyline for because I do have a handful of thoughts on that, but I want to wait until everything kind of fills out, the roster kind of fills out, and we can kind of see what we're working with. Like that's gonna be like the week before, like the week of opening day. So like that's we'll kind of keep those thoughts to ourselves here for right
Sure.
now. But I have a couple thoughts on that. But
Okay. All right.
so Chuck, we talked about the West and their promotions.
We did. We did.
And to kind of help this episode or this show's um speed and cadence, I took the time and effort to type out everyone's promotions
Oh my goodness.
instead of clicking through the website, and I found some interesting things, right? That the West was kind of similar in what they kind of did.
Okay.
The East is kind of the same, but some of them actually broke up their promotions and theme nights and had pictures and everything else. Really, I would say Chicago did a really great job with theirs.
Right.
Um, but so some of them are broken down to just promotions and their theme nights, and some were very vague. So I just combined them all together. So
Okay.
let's go through Chicago really quick. Their giveaways. Mother's
Opening
Day,
day.
yeah, opening day. They have yeah, the opening day is their jersey, which for some odd reason it didn't show up there. So I don't know what happened with that. Because the first one was Mother's Day hat giveaway, jersey, team jersey giveaway, a 30-ounce drink cup, a mini bat giveaway, a dog bandana, girls' night out T-shirts. Girls' night out seems like the thing this year, and I have no idea why. Anyways, a ketchup ornament, a Father's Day hat giveaway, a bucket hat giveaway, a lunch bag, a T-shirt giveaway, St. Patty's Day hat giveaway, and a Stan and Stew bobblehead giveaway.
My favorite there is the Stan and Stew bobblehead giveaway.
I
So much so that I created a Stan and Stew Clyburn Crew t-shirt that I can't wait to give Stu when we face them. Or actually, I'll probably give it to him on opening day because I believe I'm going to Chicago for their opening day game.
oh, there you go. I do like the ornament idea. I and
I
see
do
the
too.
me and my wife have this thing like wherever we go, like my parents have like they buy shot glasses, but we buy ornaments. So like that's just the thing. Like that's just cool. Um, so this is their theme nights. They have fireworks every Saturday, a brews and barbecue, a Halloween, 3 Bark in the Park games, a girl night out, a Neil Diamond night, heroes and villains, an Elvis tribute, Squeeze's birthday, Star Wars night, St. Patty's Day, and then they have a to be decided on August 5th, which I think has to do revolve around like maybe the playoffs because they typically do like if they make the playoffs they have like some kind of jersey special thing, but that's like their
Right.
giveaway. But it's to be decided to a certain extent. Um, anything it it's one of those that there's not a lot of giveaways, there's not a lot of theme nights, but it's quality thought out.
Yes, very quality.
Um, so Cleburne, they're very vague in some of the stuff that they did. Um, they have opening day, grandparents' day, clear bag giveaway, magnet schedule giveaway, STEM night, 80s night, Hawaiian night, Spike's birthday, Juneteenth, Cleburne Eagles, which I don't know if they're doing an alternate name. Uh, 2 World Cup nights, or maybe 1 World Cup night, and I just wrote it down twice because I can't type. Father's Day giveaway, a military hat giveaway, Independence Day, Touch a Truck, First Responders Night, baseball card night giveaway, Wild West night, 90s night, Faith and Family, Railroaders Across the Galaxy night, Dino night, and Classic Rock night, football night giveaway, hockey night giveaway, and the last is a family field day. So they're really like their giveaways. Like some of it was like giveaway, but it wouldn't tell you what they were giving away. So I'm like, football night, like were you giving away like a football with either the Houston Texans on it or the
A,
Dallas
a picture
Cowboys?
of
Like
football.
I don't like. I was like, all right, that's cool, but sure. Um, Kane County, which
Here we go.
that's so here's their giveaways. They have an open a night cat giveaway, a magnet schedule, a Santa's Village ticket, which I tried to look at what that is and I didn't find out like any inside depth information. Maybe you know.
Stanton Village is a thing in Illinois, so you have to pay for a ticket to get in. That's what it is, I believe. So they're
Okay.
giving you a free ticket to Santa's Village.
A Scooby Doo bobblehead, number one dad jersey, a George Washington bobblehead, Bumble the Abominable Snowman bobblehead, a 2026 team uh, card set, a throwback jersey, American Girl outfit giveaway, a dye cooler bag, and the Pope bobblehead.
A lot of bobbleheads there.
A lot of bobbleheads.
If I was a King County fan, I tell you that would be the place to go.
I mean, Sign me
Oh,
up
pretty sweet.
for the Scooby Doo one. That place is gonna be packed
Yeah.
for Scooby Doo. Like,
Oh, I can't remember which one we're going to, but I believe that we faced them during one of their big nights, and I was like, "Oh wow, that's us."
so their theme nights, stroke awareness, not stroke acceptance. Remember?
Well, we
Uh,
should get those that are strokes.
uh, Bark in the Park, 80s night, superhero night, alternative identity reveal, Scooby Doo night, country night, uh, Father's Day, 4th of July, military.
Hold on. Alternative identity reveal.
Yes.
So that would be an alternative for their team versus the pork chops or atomic pork chops. I would assume.
Well, pause real quick because remember we were talking about pierogies, right? And I said that I couldn't find the atomic pork
Right,
chops.
pork chop. Yeah.
They don't got the pork chops anymore, so
So they must be coming out with a new alternative jersey. That's pretty cool.
yeah.
That's pretty exciting.
Well, maybe I forget what team it is, but I mean they're part of the East. But there's one that they're gonna be the Benjamin Franklin team. So maybe they're gonna go with George Washington and George Washington bobblehead. So that'll be
True.
interesting.
That's true.
Scooby Doo night, country night, Father's Day, 4th of July, military appreciation, Christmas in July, Princess Day, peanut free night, the life of a cougar, throwback night, fan appreciation night, American Girl night, tie dye night, and Star Wars night. So there's your big ones there.
No, I want to throw peanut free night. I want to throw something out there on this one. You know, I was watching a video where a guy was talking about where did we come up with all these peanut allergies. I actually had a boss at one point in time that had a peanut allergy, and at the Christmas party, um, the it was one of those things where you go to this restaurant and they brought out the food for everybody. It wasn't a pick and choose,
Mm-hmm.
and they brought out food and he ate something that had peanuts in it. Boy, was he pissed that the office manager didn't make sure that nothing had peanuts in it, even though the peanuts was not something that was necessarily listed on the ingredients of what they were making. But he was ceremoniously carted off out of the restaurant into the emergency room. So I can appreciate a peanut free day for those people that want to see some baseball but don't necessarily feel medically safe.
I'm guessing they're not gonna play the 7th inning stretch song. They take them out to the ball
Right,
game. They might scare them away. The peanuts.
right. Well,
I
that's what.
I think I think personally, because I'm just like that, they should have someone dressed up as a peanut chasing people with peanut allergies around.
Oh man, see, this is why we need to have peanut allergy acceptance day.
Yes, you're right. Yes, because I have not accepted those people yet.
Right.
Got it. All right. So Lake Country Dockhounds. Their giveaways. They have an East Division Championship pennant, a kick, kickwe, kick, kickwick. Yeah, I think it's kickwick. I don't know. Trip Glazer Donuts, Garth Brook tickets, Garden Gnome, Louis Growth Chart, a boat keychain, dive bar coasters, Lion Louis bobblehead, a UFO candy drop, and a toy drop. A Colt bobblehead, which is the Bat Dog. Those are their giveaways. Their theme nights are First Responders Night, Star Wars Night, Mental Health Awareness Night, Get Glazed Night. I wonder what you're gonna get there. Maybe free donuts.
Donuts, yeah.
Um, you know, Boots and Baseball Night, Strikeout Cancer Night, Fairy Tales, Louis Mascot Party, Go Fish Night, Pookie Smoochie, Lost Hounds, Margaritaville, Happy 250th Birthday America, World Cup Night, Wisconsin Dive Bar, Alternate ID, um, a Halloween, not Halloween, but a Howl, Faith and Family, 90s Night, Teacher Appreciation Night, Military Night, Steamboat Willie Night, Paw Patrol Night, Colts Retirement Party, and Louis Birthday Fest. So it seems like Colt, the
Dog is
Bat
retired.
Dog, is retiring. You know, I may have to make a trip out to Lake Country just to get. I don't watch a lot of Lake Country games, only when RailCats are playing them. But I mean, who doesn't want a Bat Dog bobblehead?
You know, the cool thing that I'll say about Lake Country is they have a guy named Skipper Dave. He's their
Mm,
MC.
yes.
I don't know if I've ever told you anything about Skipper Dave, but I think that it is a job requirement that Skipper Dave has at least a 24 pack before he starts the game. Because I really think that he is drunk all the time. I don't know if it's an act, but he plays it off very well. Uh, so yeah, Lake Country Stadium sucks. I'm not a big fan of the team, but Skipper Dave, I am a Skipper Dave fan. I mean, I just laugh every time because
well, well, Chuck. I mean, it's Wisconsin Brewing Field
I
Park, whatever
know
you want to call it.
that's why it plays very well.
Their their alternative ID is the Wisconsin Dive Bars. So I mean,
Right,
why not just be plastered and having fun?
right. I
I,
know. That's what I'm saying. It plays
I
in very well.
if I could go
Uh,
to work and get plastered and have fun, then that but
no,
I
see,
get
it's
all the
not
way
going
for
to work
that.
to get plastered. It's being plastered before you get to work is the requirement. Is that I don't know that he's ever not drunk. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's just his personality, but
he's just drunk on life.
a lot of good giveaways for them. I
Um, you know,
bobblehead would be pretty cool.
I personally, I know we've had our complaints with promotions in years past. Um, I I'm gonna get to Milwaukee, but I gotta lead it up real quick. Looking at some promotions to compare what the Railcats doing this year, I'm really happy with what Railcats promotion schedule is like.
I agree.
I, I
I
I'm
agree.
I'm really good with that. Now, if I was a Milwaukee Milkman fan, I would be asking for a refund
Oh, you think
because
Milwaukee's at the bottom of the list this time?
okay, they they didn't give me when I was looking on the website, didn't tell me what any of the giveaways were. They just
Okay.
had theme nights, and it was just like, eh, here you go. They got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 theme nights. I don't know what kind of giveaways they have.
And out of 50 ain't bad, I guess.
So they have a back to baseball fireworks. Okay, they have fireworks there. Probably a magnetic schedule. I have to put two and two together there, maybe. A weird Wisconsin night. What is it? A bunch of cheeseheads putting like
No,
stuff on their head and running
no.
around.
You see, a weird Wisconsin is where they don't serve beer that
That's gonna be rough. The classic Bark in the Park, a Western night, backyard baseball night, wrestling night, the alternate ego night of the Franklin Benjamins. So
game.
maybe
I think that we faced them on their wrestling night. I believe that was one that they pushed, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, let me look." We faced them.
now
I,
now they did have the what is it tacos and tequila festival
yes,
listed on their promotions, but when the
yeah,
team let me get something really crystal clear here, right? When the team is not at home, it is not a theme night.
right.
Okay, so take your milkman butt somewhere else with that crap because it's not a promotion night. Then they have Milkman Margaritaville, Drone Show, and Area 414 night, which I'm guessing that's their area code, and it's probably have to do with aliens. That's these promotion schedules.
I, you know, so if you were going to look at ours from last year and compare it to everybody's this year, I would say that ours would have been bottom of the barrel last year. Uh, I don't know. What do you think
Like I've said in
for last year? For
for
last
last,
year's.
but even last year, they still had good theme nights.
Okay.
I, I get the promotion. Promotions and giveaways drive more people to the ballpark, right? I understand that. But theme nights are for people that go to every single game or go to a bulk of the games a year. You want to go and you want to see the ballpark look different. You don't want to see the same ballpark over and over and over and over and over to a certain extent.
Right.
Again, I think it's just one of those you break it up and you make it more interactive and you have different things going on because you get to see the what you see with theme nights is the creativity of the front office and the content creating team. That's what you get. What
Right.
kind of ideas that can they come up with that can make things special? And when you only have like 9, that doesn't tell me that you're really trying that hard.
Exactly. What team had the Scooby Doo night? Was that King County?
Yeah, King County.
What day? What day was the? Do you have the date?
I didn't write down the dates because me
I'm looking.
numbers don't work.
I don't see it on their website, so that's why I was asking. I also don't see
Uh,
Scooby Doo night. What was before it and what was after it on your list?
I have. Hold on, Scooby. You have the Santa's Village ticket, and that's the giveaway.
Yep, Santa's Village ticket, and then
Scooby Doo bobblehead, and then number 1 dad jersey.
okay,
But then you have the alternate ID reveal, Scooby Doo night, and then Country night.
okay, hold on. So Country Night. I don't see Country Night on here.
They had theirs. You have to click. Um,
Oh,
they-
Country Night. Okay, so
yeah, you have to go to tickets, and then they have.
alternative superhero night. Could it be superhero night? They have the bobblehead. That's the 12th. They got 80s night, superhero night, alternative identity reveal, K-pop night, country music night.
Did they update it? Because I'm missing a whole bunch here. Because I missed Bluey Night. Oh, I missed Bluey Night.
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to see what day it was so that I could see
Again,
if
it's sometimes very confusing on somehow they have this all laid out. Oh, yeah, the give. I know I saw Scooby Doo bobblehead. I know it was there. Did they take it down?
Scooby Doo night is what the heck?
They had it. It's not there anymore. They,
Scooby
they have
post
a
game fireworks. So I think that Scooby Doo night is Friday the 19th.
K-pop night.
I don't know. Is that what it says on the other screen? So I just did Scooby Doo night, searched for it on the internet, Kane County Scooby Doo, and
No,
it comes.
no, Chuck. The Scooby Doo bobblehead is no longer on there.
I feel as though I'm being cheated.
I'm confused because at the beginning of the week I went through and did all of this, and now it's completely. They have a pickleball paddle night that wasn't there before.
Oh, somebody's failing their job.
I, I'm s- I'm really confused. I know. Yeah, they added and subtracted something somewhere. Cause there's
Yeah, it's supposed to be Friday, June 19th. Is what I'm looking at here because it's public events. I've got on the Cougars website at one point in time, it said Scooby Doo night.
Okay, so I'm not necessarily losing my mind. They just seem to change things and not say anything.
Right.
Well, thanks, King County. Now I actually got to do something tonight.
Oh, now you have to
You know what?
go.
I'm just gonna leave it all in there, and then we're just gonna take the hit for it. Like anyone has,
No, don't just leave it all in there. This is what
yeah.
we saw.
I,
Even without this conversation in there.
I don't. I honestly don't even think anyone has been listening to this point. And if anyone has, you might as well count. You should just comment the two idiots running the podcast at this point. Like,
Right. We are matched by the two idiots running the Kane County promotions.
I,
We've been outdone, out Scoobied. We've been out.
yeah, or maybe they're doing this on purpose.
Oh, maybe
You know, Scooby Doo. They're trying to figure out.
the mystery.
The mystery.
Hmm.
I think we figured it out. It's not K-pop,
Wait.
right?
It's not Blues Clues. That's a different thing.
Same difference, right? I guess I guess the one thing that we really forgot to talk about
Uh-huh.
that we have to stop bashing the team about
Right.
is that you don't have to warm up the oven.
Hold on. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. We did a podcast where we talked about not having any left-handed pitchers. And the day after we do the podcast, that next morning, we find out we got a left-handed pitcher. We did a podcast complaining about what it's like every time we have like a really big complaint, the next day, all of a sudden, there's a response to it, and we have no idea, like, okay, what are we going to do? So last week, one of the things that I said was, hey, if you've got all this money coming in from the bank now, maybe you could upgrade that scoreboard. And what happens? We find out that they upgraded the scoreboard, supposedly.
Well, they did. So supposedly, and Chuck,
and they weren't even the ones to announce it first. The scoreboard people are the ones that
was it
put out a
Dantronics,
press release.
Daktronics or whatever it is.
Yeah, put out a press release, and then I had people messaging me, "Is this true? Could this be true?" And I'm like, I hope so.
Chuck, we're missing the big picture.
Okay, I'm ready for the big picture.
Get it, big picture, because it's supposed to be bigger.
Yeah. Okay.
Who, if you saw the post that they put out there, who was the pitcher throwing on that picture?
Yeah, that was Andres Diaz, who is no longer with the team. Once again, he's in Chicago today. And not only was he pitching, but he was
also playing second
base, right? And who did we have? What was the other catcher? Or no, DH was Cooper Edwards.
Yes,
he was batting 300 and something. Way to go, Coop.
Chuck. I understand that normal people, right? I'm not gonna say I'm gonna put myself as normal, right?
No.
Normal people would be like, oh, that's a pretty cool. Look at all those stats. Really, really, really nice job. Really, it looks like they're doing really good. As the investigative work that we do here at this podcast, which is very, very minimum work, very minimum. Very minimum.
But when they have flags going off and things are bright and right, we're just like, wow, that's obviously a situation.
I'm sorry, but you got to do a little better.
Yeah.
That's just
I put this picture along with, when you watch the American Association games and they have their commercial for the American Association and they've got players that haven't played in the league in 5 years on their little thing. And you're like, oh, I remember that player from 5 years ago. Oh, I remember that. Oh yeah, and there's like no RailCat visual at all, right? It's always Kansas City or, Chicago Dogs or whatever it is. Kansas City again. I put it up there with that.
Yeah, that was. I got a good laugh at that. That was I'm like, yeah, I'm just saying that's one of those situations where, come on, you're gonna take a picture of it. There are gonna be people that know. I know no one's really gonna care that much, but it's like you got to do a little bit better, you know.
Let's just put some random players from the past up there and put some crazy stats
I could
just to make sure all the lights work.
I could understand if there was a complete overhaul of the roster and you didn't have anyone in a RailCats uniform to put up there. But don't tell me you're gonna put a guy that was on the team that just got traded on the scoreboard when you have other pitchers or other batters that have been a part
Right.
of.
There was no thought put into it. That's okay. No thought put into it. It is what it is.
It is what
But
it is.
hey, here's the thing. We've got a new scoreboard, supposedly, right? Which means that now this is the part that makes sense now that me and you while we were buying our tickets last time had to click that little box that said, no, I do not want to have a message on the scoreboard. And the whole time I'm clicking that, I'm thinking to myself, what? So half the name could be missing? Uh, and so now I understand how they're trying to recoup some of the city's money at $21 a pop to put a message up
Hey,
there.
I mean, if you're gonna tell me that's gonna scroll across the bottom of the board, like hey Chuck, you smell bad from Kyle, like
Right.
around the
That might be worth 21 bucks.
that might be worth the 21 bucks. Like,
no.
so
But hey, that's good news. Good news. Right?
Chuck, you got anything before the final out?
You know what? I've got an interesting story to share.
Okay.
Which I had thought I had shared with you before. But apparently I didn't. So this was some 3 years ago, I believe, 2023. And we had LG staying with us. And LG made the All-Star game that year.
Mm-hmm.
And before the All-Star game, we faced Milwaukee, and it was an afternoon game. I was sitting there by myself, watching the game. We had just beat Milwaukee the night before, and we were in last place. And Milwaukee, I believe, was one of the higher teams. And they were just running their mouth, and I was running my mouth back at them. And I got called a 60-year-old loser by them. And I said, why do you support this team when they suck so bad? And I said, well, it must really suck to you that you're losing to a team that's in last place and you're about to lose again. And then as soon as I said that, about 2 minutes later, we knocked the guy in from third and we wound up winning the game. And so I made a post about, funny that I got called a 6-year-old loser, do better. DJ came over to me the next day and said, hey, I heard the guys were getting on you and that. And it was all in good fun. It was funny. But we're going to beat you again today. I don't think we won that game. I don't think we swept them. But hey, you support your team and you dig in and you just, when the other team is kind of running their mouth and they're pissed off that they're losing, it doesn't hurt to rub a little salt in the wound so that you can make sure you win that game. As a fan, I enjoy that, right? Might change a little bit more now that I'm doing the OnDeck Tees, and I would love to have all the different players signed versus just RailCats. But fast forward to the All-Star game, and I'm sitting there in the front row at the All-Star game in Milwaukee, and one of the Milwaukee pitchers comes up to me, and he goes, "Hey Chuck, you're gonna have to root for us today." And I laughed. I said, yeah, it's all right. It's worth it. It's worth it to root for you guys today because LG was on the team.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted LG to win, right? And so I came home that night, and I thought of something, and I was like, he knew my name. I don't know that these guys know my name, but that pitcher knew my name. And so I asked LG about it, and I said, LG. So the guy came up to me. I said what the guy's name was, and he knew my name. And he looks at me like I'm an idiot. He goes, Chuck, they all know your name. They all know. As soon as they found out I was staying with you, they had a lot of questions to ask. And I said, okay, cool, and that was good. Well, the guy who knew my name, when they made it into the playoffs that year, I went there to Chicago, wore my Milwaukee Milkman jersey, supported this guy because I appreciated the fact that he knew my name, came up to me and joked around with me and and what have you. Well, that guy just made his MLB debut for the Texas Rangers, and went 1, 2, 3 in the inning. And he has, I believe, since then pitched 3 more innings, which he has not allowed to run. And that is Peyton Gray, and I'm proud of that guy. Guy who stuck with it, who has played independent ball, who would go find you out of a crowd and talk to you and what have you. Just an all around great guy. Um, and I sent him a message saying, hey, heard you got called up. Congratulations, great job. And got a response right away of thank you. Um, eh, you love seeing a guy like that succeed.
Mhm.
And so that's my personal story about Peyton Gray. And it was at that point I realized that these guys know.
So heartwarming, Chuck. Well, at least Chuck, there's a guy that is playing MLB baseball that knows your name. And
Absolutely.
it's not doesn't know your name because you decide to go streaking down left field
Right.
and screaming your name, but genuinely a guy that knows your name, and you can say, hey, I have an MLB baseball player's name in my phone and I didn't stalk them for it. So
Right. No, but
congratulations, Chuck.
I did tell him that I was going to try to go to the White Sox games when he's in town because I think it would be very awesome to see him play, and see it in person. So we'll see how that goes. I think that would be I personally think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
And I will be buying myself a Peyton Gray jersey when I can find it.
Yeah, you just go on Chinese website and you can figure all that out. But
Well, and he got a debut patch.
yeah,
That's
that's a new thing. Yeah, they're doing that.
no,
Yeah.
so they take it off and Topps puts it on a
Yep.
baseball card, and somebody's going to get that, and I will be putting a bounty out for that debut patch card.
Good luck. All right.
Good luck.
So
What about you?
What?
Any last
Chuck, I how many
how many times we have to do this?
how many times do we have to do
What's your
this?
final out?
No, Chuck.
Oh,
You come up with this company and you expect free advertisement. And I try to give you I give you the opening and I give you the final out.
right.
And you just skip over the final out. Right? You're just like, nah, man. Like I said, do you have anything? No, I don't got anything, but I do have a story for you.
Right, that was it.
Chuck, then that's your final out. You got I
Oh,
got to do the
that's my final.
tagline.
Okay, all right.
How am I expected to get paid nothing if you don't allow me
You know
to?
what? We're gonna start deducting from that check.
I'm gonna have to start owing you money now.
That's the way that it's gonna be.
It's not how we're supposed to work, Chuck.
Wow.
Well, guess what? I guess we're skipping it this week because
No, we're
Chuck.
not.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
we're skipping it this week
Let's
because
do it.
Chuck
Let's do it.
doesn't want the free advertisement. I got
I
it.
want the free
Oh, fine. Okay, the final out brought to you by OnDeck Tees, support the player, wear the gear. Chuck gave you his final story. Really wasn't much of an out, but it was a story.
It was a good story.
It was a great story, Chuck.
Thank you.
It's a story of success that I guess I'll piggyback off of it
Okay.
a little
All right.
bit. This is why I enjoy independent baseball or the American Association is that one, you get to build that connection, and 99.9% of the players will build that connection back with you because I mean at the end of the day we all put our shoes on the same way, our pants the same way, but you build that relationship, you build that. Yeah, they may play for another team right now, but
Right.
they may get put in affiliate ball and you're immediately a fan favorite of them. You're
Right.
you're a fan of that player because you want to see them succeed because you watch them at some can argue say the lowest point they've been in their baseball career,
Maybe.
and now they're succeeding.
Yeah. I do want to clarify though. You said that we all put our shoes on the same way, or we put our pants on the same. We put our pants on first before we put on our shoes in most cases.
I am definitely backwards.
So
So
yes, we
shoes after pants.
right.
Got it.
That's man, that would save you a lot of time. Now I know why you're late at work. Why all your pants have cuts on the bottom of them so you can slide your shoe in there.
That's why I don't like joggers.
Yeah, there you go. They got the zip though. That's a little bit easier, I guess.
That's why I buy those pants.
Okay.
I get the rip off pants.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
No, but to piggyback off it, this is why I enjoy this part and want to see. Yes, we want to see the Railcats in the playoffs. We want to see the Railcats play. Like I would love nothing more than knowing a player, building a relationship on the Railcats, knowing, hey, we supported you here. You move on to the next level, and then we see you at the highest level that you can possibly go in baseball. But
Right.
just because it doesn't happen with the Railcats doesn't mean that we don't anyone that gets the call that's playing and we watch them play. I'm like, what are they doing? How are they doing? Like that's what I enjoy
JC
seeing.
Escara, everybody stopped when we were bowling last year. JC Escara made his debut.
Yep.
Everybody stopped and was watching the TV, and we were watching him, make his first at bat. I mean, and he played for Kansas City, and he's another one of those great guys that, I talked to him before. AJ had a big conversation with him. AJ followed him on
Mm-hmm.
whatever the socials were and would go back and forth and talk to him. And then next thing you know, he's catching for the Yankees. I mean, these guys, they're not that far from making the MLB.
No.
And I think that's what the fans don't realize, right? Is they think that, oh, this is just a bunch of guys that got together and are playing, men's league baseball and that's not what's going on here at all. These guys are most likely, okay, if they're seasoned, they're most likely making it into double A, triple A.
Mm-hmm.
And if they get picked up into affiliate ball, and they're that one knock away from being in the pros. I mean, look at Brian Torres, one
Yep.
of the greats out of Milwaukee that spends 2-3 seasons there, and now he's in his third, I believe, second, third season in the minors, but he's on the 40-man roster and he's ready to be called up at any moment.
Yeah.
A guy like that, there's a handful of them out there, and in most cases, they'll go over to you and hey, they're glad you're there. They're glad you're supporting them. And then you got a guy on the flip side of that, right? You got a guy like Dylan Thomas, who just recently signed with OnDeck Tees, and we have some shirts of him out there. That he played for the Mariners and he played for the Angels.
Mm-hmm.
Ex MLB guy. So also one of those guys that'll come up to you and have a conversation with you, and it's another great personality to have around the clubhouse. So that's what I like about the American Association. In most cases, seems like these teams are very focused on having good guys play for them. Good talented guys, but also good personality wise.
Yeah, and I think it might be one of those situations where the players are mature enough or have the awareness knowing everyone that's here. Okay, some people that are here just because it's cheap, easy entertainment.
Right.
But majority of the people that are willing to have the conversation are the true baseball fans, and they're there to watch baseball and see how and that gives them that connection versus you won't get those kind of connections playing in
No.
MLB and affiliate ball, because most of the time the people want your autograph, they're going to turn around and they're going to sell it to the next person behind them.
Sometimes. Or sometimes the guy is, hey, I've made it here and you're not, I feel like I have to big league you to move ahead.
Yeah, I mean it's just a different different
Different-
atmosphere, and I think you get a more genuine I think it's more of an appreciation for player to fan to fan to player.
Yeah, I agree.
That's how
All
I
right.
view that. Well, that's gonna wrap up this podcast. He's Chuck Buttock. I'm Kyle Svedich. Have a good rest of your night, rest of your evening when you're watching this. Go Cats.
Fans.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Wrap this one up in green and white.